All right, it's another episode of the Cedric Maxwell Podcast. I'm Josue Pavón alongside Cedric Maxwell, and this is the Big Deal or No Big Deal episode. That's right, we're bringing it back, and we're making it the entire episode because there's so much to get through. What happened this past week, Max? So we're going to get right through it with Big Deal or No Big Deal. How'd that sound?
Yeah, we got it. We're ready.
You love this game. I know that. You know, every time we bring it up, I'm like, I could tell you get excited. All right, let's do it. First things first. Now, I know this is a kind of an older story, but we got to talk about it, man. We know we always keep it on 100 here on the Cedric Maxwell Podcast, and it will be no different on this one. That's talking about what Michelle Beadle said during a recent broadcast where the N-word slipped out of her mouth. She was referring to the Denver Nuggets, and she called them the Denver Max. Big deal or no big deal?
Ooh. For a white person to do that on air, it's a pretty big deal. I'm not sure how they're going to adjudicate that in ESPN, but remember Stephen A. Smith did it also one time when he was talking to somebody. It was talking to a brother, and the brother said something to him, and he said, "Nigga, please."
He did. That's right.
He had to catch himself. So, is it different between Michelle Beadle as a white woman and a black man using it? No, we're gonna find out. But for me, thinking about it, I'm glad I don't have to make because we're so politically correct these days.
Yeah, right.
ESPN has to do something when it comes to that. I am not sure. She has to come back on air. She have to, apologize, whatever. But let me just say it like this. It wasn't the first time she used the word, okay?
Thank you. Exactly. Okay, Max, we're on the same page. And I'm glad we didn't get into this really before we started recording, because I wanted your raw reaction, because that's exactly what crossed my mind. Is it a big deal in the sense of she needs to lose her job? No. Is it a big deal in the sense that she's used this word before? Yes, and I'm going with that for sure, Max. I mean, whether it's bumping Lil Wayne or whether it's Drake, whatever she listens to when she's alone, she leans in on that word, Max. All right, she definitely does. Because how do you mistakenly say something that you've never said before? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Again, I'm not saying she's going around saying like, "Oh my gosh, this place is full of," you know what I mean? I don't think she's using it in that sense. But there's a lot of rappers out there. I feel like it's sort of given or the way they've been accepted by the white community. Who knows what they do behind closed door when they listen to their favorite artists, man? And I always think of Drake. Because I feel like Drake, being half Jewish, like must be a lot of kids out there being like, you know what? If Drake can say it, so I don't know. Again, I don't think they're doing it in front of people, but behind closed doors, there's a good chance they are.
But I don't know. In our society today, how many times have we rode down the street and you see a car full of white kids and they're listening to rap music and as you said, they lean into that word. I happened to be walking down the street one day in downtown Boston. This had to be about 5 or 6 years ago. And there was two guys walking down the street on the opposite side of the street. They were listening to some music, and two white guys. And all of a sudden, they just bust out, "These niggas is bad." I'm like, and then there was a black guy on the other side of the street. He came up on me and said, "Watch your damn mouth." And I was like, and I don't even know what got into me. I ran across the street. I said, "Yeah, you need to watch your damn mouth." And they like, we were from Rawway. We were in prison down in Walpole and da. I said, "I don't give a damn. You wouldn't say the Walpole, so you definitely ain't gonna be saying out here in the street."
For real. So I think
it just depends, Josue. Did she mean anything by it? But God, dog, how do you get the Nuggets mixed up with nigga? How do you get those two words? They come together. Oh,
that's what I'm trying to figure out, man.
What was the face of the guys who were on the screen with her? How did they react?
Lou Williams just did like a whoa, and then Chandler Parsons was just like. I'm just glad Lou Williams was there because he couldn't even help himself. As soon as she said it, he was just like, "Whoa,
hey girl!"
That's a reflex. Like he didn't expect that at all, man.
Oh my
and like
God.
you said, those two words. I mean, if you were talking about a specific country or whatever, you know what I mean. Like there's other words that are much closer than the Nuggets. Yeah.
Nugget and niggas. No, yeah, that's a stretch right there. That's a real stretch. So,
and she immediately was just like, guys, don't make this a thing. Don't make this a thing, guys. And I think she said that immediately, don't cancel my ass.
Yeah. Wow.
Prize Picks is the best place to get real money sports action. They got over 10 million members and billions of dollars in award winnings. Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all, so you just pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up 100 times your cash. Your game all season long on Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the best way to get into the action in over 30 states, including California, Florida, Georgia, and Texas. Prize Picks is the only real money daily fantasy platform with an injury insurance policy, so your lineups stay even if one of your players gets hurt or injured. If your player leaves in the first half and doesn't return, Prize Picks keeps your lineup live. Sign up today and give $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus because it's guaranteed. Think Steph Curry will get more than 4 3-pointers this week, or Anthony Edwards more than 27 points? Cook up some hot takes with your friends and win real money this basketball season. Get your crew to run your game on Prize Picks. Download the app today. Use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Again, download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. And, you know, some of the Prize Picks you could be looking at: Luka Doncic for more than 31.5 points, Steph Curry for more than 4 3-pointers, Anthony Davis more than 11 boards, the freak Giannis for more than 29.5 points. Again, download the app today. Use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. Run your game.
Next one, big deal, no big deal. The Cleveland Cavaliers are now 15-0, the only undefeated team in the NBA. And Max, they did it without Donovan Mitchell. That's right. They beat the Hornets 128-114. Big deal, no big deal. 15-0.
Big deal. Big deal that they're 15-0. So. Bigger deal, the fact they're coming to Boston for the next game to play the world champs. And so in this game, essentially, if the Celtics don't win this game, they won't be in the cup play. They have to win this game, or essentially they almost eliminated. So they lost that game to Atlanta, and so this is a huge game, and this is a huge game, and this is the biggest game in the NBA regular season game this year, and maybe for a long time when you think about where and what has to happen, because they've been playing so well, and but then Daddy's home. And when you look at the Celtics. And so if I was a betting man, which sometimes I am, but I'm not betting on this game, but if I was, I'd go big time with the Celtics.
Yeah, I'm with you on that, Max. You know, it's this kind of situation that makes me think this is what Adam Silver was hoping. You know what I mean? In the sense of like spicing things up with the NBA Cup and, you know, things on the line. I mean, like, yeah, there's of course there's the undefeated streak that's on the line that I have people tuned in, but also you got the NBA Cup. You know, you got the champions, how they lost, you know, their first cup matchups, and now this means something. So, you know what I mean? It kind of spices things up, you know, not in the great sense of this is absolutely going to be, you know, demoralizing if the Celtics lose, but it makes it a little more entertaining for the viewers, for sure.
Yeah, it does. And let me explain also to our viewers what this shirt means, having pledged.
Yeah, please do, man, because I called you out.
This is my fraternity, Omega Psi Phi. And this is when I was a young man. I pledged. When you were online, you had to go through all these rituals. And this was a shirt that I bought in honor of my pledge period, which is over 30-some years ago. So don't get it confused by, you know, what's that pledge thing? And what is that? What are those Greek letters on the bottom? That's what that is. So, okay. Now let's go on.
Hold on. Before we do, though, what's the craziest thing you had to do while pledging? Ooh. I don't know anything about that Greek life. We didn't have that at Springfield College.
You know what? It was so many things. I think one of the nastiest things we did, we had to actually eat all that kind of different food. And so if anybody threw up, then we stopped. So we went to oysters, and we had dog food, cat food, all this stuff that we ate during this Greek feast, what they called it. So that was probably one of the more crazy things that I can actually remember that I guess I can divulge about.
I can't imagine. Anyways, all right, we'll got to revisit that at some point because I know you must have got some kind of special treatment, man, being like the star basketball player and whatnot.
Come on, man.
They was trying to keep you on the good side. Like the seniors, they're going to try to mess with the freshmen that be balling.
All Qs are all Qs, baby. That's what we are.
All right, big deal, no big deal. Jake Paul beat Mike Tyson 8 rounds. Netflix announced 60 million households tuned in to one of the worst feeds that you can think of. But is it a big deal or no big deal of the sporting event in itself?
And for me, it wasn't a sporting event. It was more a spectacle. I mean, I don't think you're talking whatever Mike Tyson talking about. Somebody said that today in the barbershop. The thing you can't beat age. You cannot beat age. So
you always say that, Max. Father Time's undefeated.
Yeah, Father's Time is undefeated. So did Mike Tyson? I didn't look at the fight, but I know one thing that both the guys were temporarily suspended because of the wrestling match that they had in there. So I paid no attention to it at all. To me, is one of the things that goes on in life again that you just kind of ho-hum about.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm with you, Max. I got myself all riled up, and I don't know. I just thought we'd see a good fight. I was just excited to see Tyson in the ring again. I mean, when Tyson was in his heyday, I was a baby. I missed all that, So
Tyson in his heyday and Tyson now.
I missed it. That's what I mean.
It's like watching me right now. If I had to go out and play a game of basketball, you're going, damn. Dude, you're slow as molasses. You can't jump. You can't do this. Mike Tyson, he put on a good show of all the things he was showing and his preparation. But at the end of the day, it wasn't. It wasn't a fight. It was more of an exhibition.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. But yeah, you're right. I mean, when you look at it logistically and all that, you're like, there's no chance you're gonna get like a really good fight out of it, regardless of how you feel about Jake Paul. I mean, he's in tip-top shape. He's probably in the best shape he'll ever be in his life. Yeah. Going up against a 58-year-old Mike Tyson. So yeah, I just thought we'd get a better product, man. Like I said, I got myself riled up for nothing, man. I ashamed to say I did watch, I watched all 8 rounds, refreshing and all that, but yeah, it wasn't entertaining, man. It really wasn't. It was just like I don't know. I don't know what to call that.
God bless you,
it's a spectacle. Exactly. That's a good way to put it for sure. I'll be honest. There is nothing like taking in a live basketball game, especially in the fourth quarter, down the stretch, being in that atmosphere and seeing it all play out right in front of you. There's nothing like it. And with the basketball season back, there is no other place better than Game Time. That doesn't just have you covered for sports, but any type of concert or other events going on in town, you don't want to miss out with Game Time, especially with their new feature called Game Time Picks, and that makes getting tickets to see your favorite teams play live even easier. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. You can pick an upcoming game on the app, you can browse through the seats because of Game Time Picks. Super deal gives you the absolute best price around, and you can even customize your spot so you know exactly what to expect ahead of the event. The curated deals make it easier to find the best price on great seats, and that's my favorite part of the app. Plus, you get the seat views before you buy, lowest price guaranteed, event cancellation protection, which is big, right? Job loss protection, etc. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code CLNS for $20 off your first purchase. Again, create an account and redeem the code CLNS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? Game time. All right, big deal or no big deal. Inside the NBA crew will be back this upcoming or next season rather. So the farewell season is done. All right, they've reached a new deal with ABC, licensing deal that'll keep the show going. However, it keeps the other guys around as well, not just the host, but the TNT crew and all that. And I couldn't think of a better way for the story to end. I'm so happy that these guys are back.
Big deal, because I think they're good for basketball, good professional basketball. Charles Barkley has been great. I love how opinionated he is. I love how him and Shaq go back and forth. I love the way Ernie controls everything. And then Kenny is like the little Muppet who was running around between the two of them. So I have fun. I have a lot of fun when I watch it. So I'm happy to see that they're back. And again, anything that enhances the viewership for the NBA, especially when it talks about these games, that to me is really good stuff.
No question, man. And out of all sports, no one, and I mean no one, does it better. I don't even see a crew that's even comparable, whether you're talking about NFL or NBA. I mean, ABC has been mixing and matching guys just to try to compete with these guys, or at least try to be on the same level, and it's unmatched. That chemistry is unmatched, and now you can even include Shaq. It feels like it's only been like 5 years or so, but he's been there for a while, and he's a natural part of what they do, man. So I'm so excited that's going to happen, because I was like, this makes no sense. The people don't want this to happen. Everyone's going against it. I was hoping that something like this would happen, and here we are. It's not even 2025 yet, and there's a deal already set for next season.
Bravo to the powers that be. And think of it this way. They understood the money aspect of it, because that NBA show was so good, and it generated so much income and so many followers that they decided to go ahead and bring the band back, and I think that was a good thing.
No question, 100%. All right, big deal, no big deal. Jason Tatum sticking with it. I think that's the best way to put it, man. So after it looked like he couldn't buy a bucket, including the game that could have, or the shot rather, that could have closed things out without having to go into overtime, still he makes the game winner in overtime against the Toronto Raptors. Celtics win, walk-off victory. Big deal, no big deal for Jason Tatum.
Big deal, because how will that translate later on down the season and during the playoffs? If he misses that shot, the game winner again, people are oohing and on like, damn, he's a choke artist. He's not getting this stuff done. So I think it's a big deal when I think about Jason Tatum making this shot. And I think it's only going to show dividends down the line of him making that shot later on.
Agreed. Big deal, especially because of the way he missed that other one, man.
Oh.
Man, that was all backboard, man. You know what that was, Max? That was like, when I did like the third, run at my age, legs are gone. That was a first grader miss, the way he missed that. I mean, he missed it so bad. You're looking at the hoop with your arm goes like that or something.
It didn't even. So for him to get, and I always say this, to get a second chance, a lot of times in life, you don't get a second chance to do anything. He got a second chance to do this. He got a second chance to do that, right afterwards. And it wasn't even, 5 minutes before he got an opportunity to do it. And most people never get an opportunity to do a do-over, whatever it is. And a do-over in sports this time was really cool for him.
And he didn't back down at all, man. That's what I loved about it. It's one of those things where you knew he had to take it. He done took so many dribbles.
Well, he wasn't going to take it. I think the play was meant for Brown. And
you mean the last play?
Jaylen Brown came over and got knocked down. And so when Tatum saw him get knocked down, Tatum put the ball on the floor and he just knocked down the shot. So yeah, it's a big deal. He misses that shot. How is he gonna be looked at for the next, this season? He missed that shot. It resonates.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing, man. Like, to have the focus and the confidence to keep taking the next one, regardless of what happened before. I love that about Tatum, man. I always say that's a big part of his game. It kind of reminds me of Paul, man. I remember, like, back in the day, people would be like, well, why is Pierce got to take the last shot all the time? This, that. I'm like, because he's ready for it. He doesn't shy away from that moment. And even before, he got Ray Allen and Garnett to join, or he had that help, he was still always willing to be that guy, never afraid of that moment.
Yeah, you got to find that moment. It's one of the things you do. So I do. It's a big deal when I think about him hitting that shot.
Absolutely. All right, Max. Celtics, Cavs. We'll see what happens, of course, this week. Plenty of things to look forward to as well. And I can't believe it, Max.
You're a betting man.
Thanksgiving.
You're a betting man, though. So what you gonna do?
Yeah, man.
Who's gonna win that game? Because you do those FanDuel and this, that, and the other. Who's gonna win that game?
I'm gonna go to. I'm leaning towards Boston, man. I don't think it's gonna be easy. I think it's gonna be a really, really tough.
I think it might be. I think it could be a blowout. I think it'll be a damn blowout.
Well, I mean, if Donovan doesn't play for sure, it looks like he's probably not going to. But I just feel like they're gonna put the type of effort that will surprise the Celtics. But We'll see. You think it'll be a blowout? I don't know. We'll see.
We'll get a chance to see it. And guys, again, thank you very much for coming on with us. And
Absolutely.
you'll make us stronger. Mash that button, and good things are gonna happen.
Absolutely, man. Share these episodes. Give us your take and let us know what you thought about everything we just discussed with no big deal or no big deal in this episode of the Cedric Maxwell Podcast. He's Cedric Maxwell. I am Josue Pavón. We'll see you guys next week. What's going on, everyone? It's Josue Pavón here. If you made it this far, that means you really enjoyed this video. Make sure you follow all of our social media platforms at Celtics CLNS, and of course, follow us here on YouTube.